If you've been wondering what it's like to move to another country, to another part of the world, welcome, I'm Mia. Usually, I talk in this channel about little mind tricks you can do to improve your life right here, right now. But today is going to be a little bit different. And I'm just going to talk about my personal experience because I feel like many people are actually thinking to change something in their life significantly, like moving to another part of the world. So that's my story, and I had a lot of different life circumstances going on. Obviously, I didn't just decide to move out of the nowhere. It was kind of like a necessity at that point. But so here's my take on it. In another country, no matter if you move to US or not, I'm in US, you will have to start from scratch, which is pretty obvious, right? You will need to make new friends. And some people I talked to, they weren't able to do that in years, which is kind of interesting because it's different culture here. Sorry, my toddler is doing some crazy stuff as always. So you will have to find your friends, you will have to find your community. The biggest thing for me was also like eye-opening thing is that if you move to US, I don't know how it's in some other countries, but I'm from Ukraine, it's not the case out there. Out here, you need a credit score. Basically, it's very important. And you need, you're moving to a new place, right? So you probably will start from renting out the place to live. And for that, you need some kind of rental history, which, we as people from outside don't have. So, you have to consider all those little details before moving. But, other than me getting into little details like credit scores and all those things that are, different from country to country. And I feel like in the US it's kind of extreme that if you're not in the system, it's gonna be, kind of challenging at first because you need to get all these things ready and, it takes time, obviously. For me, luckily, it wasn't that big of a problem because, of my husband, but if you're moving completely alone, that's gonna be a different story, right? Then you need to find a job. And for some of us people who had some specific qualification abroad, in US or, in other countries, you might need to go through some kind of study again or through the whole course of bunch of things before you can actually continue doing this type of profession that you had before. Or you might need to start from scratch, from just very, very regular type of thing. Like a lot of people, unfortunately, start from cleaning out here in this country, and that's because, it's really complex to start doing something where you don't have necessarily proof where, you might think you have, but in this country they look at things differently. So if you have some papers from outside the US, it might be a little bit more complex. So I would definitely recommend to have some kind of helicopter. I would definitely recommend to have some kind of work job plan or, business plan in order before actually consider this huge move. And another thing that is crazy important, I feel like, and people don't talk about it too much, culture shock. When you move to the other culture, to the other country, it's not so, if you move inside like European Union, it's not so different because countries, are, quite similar European feel. But if you move to a place like that is very like outside of the box, kind of like US, I feel like, everything is so different. Like people don't socialize the way they do in Europe. It's such a big culture shock to discover that. Life is just so different. Like people don't walk here. Why? Because in many places there's not even sidewalks. The distances are crazy large. You can't get to places without a car. So if you don't have like a specific amount of money set up aside for the beginning, it might be really hard to start in like country like US. It might be not the case for other countries, right? But again, you can look at specific cities that is easier to start on, and you know, if you're in this boat, I would definitely recommend to kind of stick in with your community a little bit, because they can help you set up, or they can give you some good advice how to do that at the beginning, which is, you know, quite complex. Even if you don't need all those things to be set up, because you might have somebody else taking care of this, it's still quite a lot. And you know, sometimes people paint us such a perfect picture in like movies, especially in like American movies, which is the reality for people who are very wealthy out here. But for people who are not so wealthy, even for wealthy people, it's not always a reality, right? So what they show in movies is not always true. I feel like a lot of people move to US because it's like this American dream. Unfortunately, it's changed a lot during the years. It's a lot of inflation. It's not so easy for a regular person to just, you know, get the perfect job and move up the ladder and make it so simple and easy. Rents are outrageous here. And I'm not trying to talk you out of moving here or anything. And we're just talking in general, right? Not just about the US. So I'm just trying to explain that sometimes in some scenarios it's easier to stay in your country if you have that choice. And maybe just if you want to like expand your business and that's your reasoning, let's say, you might try to do it from where you are, and it might be in some ways simpler. But that was not my case, and that might be not your case, right? And that's okay. No problem. But I just wanted to mention all these things because that's kind of what I'm, you know, experienced, and I wish I knew some of these things before, right? Life is so different here, and I'm grateful for it, for where I am, but, you know, it can get very, very complex when you move abroad, and just be prepared and everything is gonna be great. Just have the right mindset. Don't be afraid to learn new things because you will have a lot to learn. And yeah, be prepared. Stay tuned.